Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 2 that consists me, Alvi and Salma, Novelia, Deby, Sintia, Lifta Rafika, Nisa, Aulia, Syasabil, and Ainna Ak We are going to present about between taste and value in popular fiction. People's taste and popular fiction. In American history, since the pocketbook published the cheap novel in 1939, the publication has increased year by year. These cheap novels are called paperbacks, which refers to books with thin cover and poor quality paper. The increasing popularity of novel or popular fiction in society has made the view of distinction between high and low culture fade. Cheap novels that were previously only sold in pharmacies or airports have begun to be sold in bookstore and school. This is what makes the difference between low novel, a term used to refer popular fiction, and high novel, a term commonly used to refer to noble literary work, becomes more and more vague and unclear. People's taste for popular fiction can be seen through the development of forms and types or genre in popular fiction. People's tastes are influenced by several factors such as gender, age, religion, ethnic, and racial background and personality. Expression of values and change in society. Popular fiction is a reflection of society. Reflection here means like a mirror which shows the same situation with reality even though it is seen from a different point of view. This means that the audience or reader is the same as the popular fiction they read. Expression of values and change in society. Popular fiction is a reflection of society. Reflection here means like a mirror which shows the same situation with reality even though it is seen from a different point of view. This means that the audience or reader is the same as the popular fiction they read. The structure that builds popular culture. Beliefs and value that rooted in myth. Beliefs and value are the foundation to build popular culture because they are ideas that cannot be seen and are present in the mind of a person in a society. But beliefs and value are superficial and easy to change. Meanwhile, the root of belief and value, myth, is stable and lasts a long time. Popular artifacts. Popular artifact can be objects or people. It is different from beliefs and values, and it's visible and can be reality or imaginary that depend one another. Ritual. Ritual are symbolic activity that followed by many people and reflect the general beliefs and values that exist in society. Ritual is important in researching popular culture because ritual represents the belief and value expressed by the society.
Myths, values, and beliefs can survive if readers or viewers still see them as ideal values points that live in society. So, popular fiction will still be able to attract viewers or readers if it is still the rules that are believed by the audience or readers. However, this will change when society, in its development, no longer believes in these values. Here, the role of convention and invention applies. Through the motive for the action taken by the characters in the story, the values that the writer understands and believes it can be seen. With this value, a writer can create a measure or standard that moves the character of the story in support of the theme, or in other words, the motive for action is a formula that moves the writer to build a story. Compile a rational justification for an action or build a cause and effect relationship so that a series of stories is created makes sense. In terms of motive for action, there are at least two conditions that can be used as a formula in building a storyline. First, there must be some crime, natural disaster, suffering, pain, or infidelity that threatens public safety, love, solidarity, happiness, or health. And second, there is a main character who must overcome these obstacles in life. And next is reflection of taste in genre formation. Genre, in a general sense, means type. Genre labeling for popular fictions aims to give potential reader or viewers an idea of what story they will see or read later. However, When a novel or film with a certain genre experiences great success, there is a tendency to make other novels or films that are similar by borrowing ideas and storylines from that genre. The cultural influence in the emergence of the genre of popular fiction can also be seen, for example, in the emergence of the chick lit genre. This genre emerged from the romance genre, because the modern phenomenon in America is working women in metropolitan cities who are looking for love. This genre emerged. Since the goal of popular fiction is to achieve high levels of sales, the audience and readers' taste factor is the most important element in making or writing popular fiction. Each type or genre of popular fiction has certain formulas or standards and change depending on the taste of the audience. Derivative genres can take existing formulas and establish genres with the addition of innovative formulas that are tailored to the taste of the audience or readers. The formula that can be included in almost all types of popular fiction is the detective genre, because the detective genre has a suspense formula. There are two types of detective stories, namely stories called classic or traditional detective stories and hard-boiled as classic detective developments. The classic detective genre is basically a story about a crime that occurs around family that threatens traditional and spiritual values. Unlike the classic detective genre, hard-boiled detective tells about crime on a large scale and has a background in big cities or metropolitan areas full of corruption, violence, and crime. The criminal genre has a story that is almost the same as the detective, only if in crime there is more emphasis on the role of the police and criminals and there are no detectives. Criminal genre is not tied to the image of a particular character because in criminal many narratives are made. The theme of crime corresponds to that of crime, and the story begins with the crimes that disturb the peace of a person or a society. The criminal genre is usually aimed at satisfying male taste, while for female readers or viewers it is romance.
And then, romance is basically a story that is consumed by mostly women. Popular fiction is the embodiment of empirical and indigo beliefs that will change according to people's tastes and change because culture is organic, whose function is not only the preservation of community values, but also innovation because cultures meet the changing needs of society. The protection of culture and meaning in popular fiction is symbolic. Popular fiction is produced and delivers reality, cultural relevance in the form of symbols. Popular fiction depends on the environment in which popular fiction is created, published, and consumed. In addition, the crime genre and fictional comedy. It also has a romantic genre where it has melody, has nuance that are dominated by most women, such as Titanic, Cinderella, and so on.
And then Kunto Wijoyo, 1974, divides the environment into three parts, namely, first, the material environment, including things that are meaningful, such as houses, bridges, and files. Second, social environment, lifestyle, and etc. And third, symbolic environment, covering all aspects that make up meaning and communication, such as word, mythical language, songs, ceremonies, art, behavior, concept, and material object.
An appetizing formula. Bernstein compares the speaking styles of the American middle and the working class. Both have difference. The difference is, the first is middle class speakers tend to use existing syntactic structures more than the working class. The second is, working class speakers speak with words that are bound in the context, while the middle class tends to express their speech which is not bound in the text. He concludes that working class reasons speak in context-dependent sentence. From his research, it can be concluded that the behavior of the main character in popular fiction is usually presented as a quiet person. In popular fiction, Japanese and Korean popular fiction also shows the character with the same criteria. The main character is a kind and quiet person. In Indonesian popular fiction, the criteria for a good character are usually not very consistent. The only thing that distinguishes a good character from a bad character is in the way of speaking and the expression of his voice. In research about genre, the antagonist formula are classified into 5 of a kind. Number 1 is criminals who pursue wealth and power. Number 2 is natural force or non-human beings that threaten human safety. Number 3 is terrorists who fight for an ideology. Number 4 is individuals who take revenge. And the last one is chaos due to changing values in society. The formula presented to describe the protagonist and antagonist always change from time to time. Changes that occur in society can also be seen from change in characterization, difference in adventure stories.
From the point I wrote, I will add an explanation. Then the story with the theme of reverence takes the form of two things, namely the character who takes reference and the scale of reference. Cheng in the text are also seen throughout the emergence of story of reference from the antagonist. The difference is that when the reference is on the side of the antagonist, it will create a mind plot in the stories, and the narrative will focus on the action of main character in dealing with the antagonist's attempts of reference. The popular fiction formula doesn't only always relate to the main character whose formulation of the demonstration of the goodness popular fiction is considered to be damaging to young people because it contains violence and pornographs. These two things are allowed. It is done with the condition. For example, in a scene of violence committed by an antagonist, then it is violence is committed by a hero against the antagonist. This is called a heroic action. And fiction also display violence, but there are also many vulgar scenes or words, both verbally and non-verbally. This is usually one of the formulas used in popular fiction because it's considered satisfying the reader so that the reader want to continue reading it again. Writing usually communicates a taboo or overly vulgar words with the smoother language. Many novels or films contain historical elements and story. In the old literature, there are many stories that contain history and fantastic elements. In understanding the imaginary elements, it is also necessary to have a good understanding and will combine in the imaginary elements to find harmony. Memoirs can be divided into two, namely containing true story and fictional story. Usually, historical evidence it is also used to make the story come true.